Hi guys, welcome back. I'm Nick Scrutton and this is Gimme, and today we're going to do battle of the free woods, or fairway woods I should say here. They're all 15 degrees, they're all 43 inches in terms of their length. I'm going to let you know who these will suit and potentially who they maybe don't suit based on the characteristics, their playability. So I'm going to provide you guys with some information to start with on each model, give them a little bit of a hit, talk about the data. I'm going to wrap it all up for you guys. We've got your Titleist here, GT2 model, the Qi440 model here, TaylorMade Qi35, the core model, and to finish off today's round, we've got the Callaway Elite. So 4 of the big manufacturers in golf here, household names, certainly always bring quality products to the market. Of course, there's lots of quality manufacturers in the market right now, but these 4 guys, I would say, occupy the Champions League places at the top of the golf manufacturing table. So starting off, we're going to talk about the Callaway here. So this is a Callaway Elite model, new for 2025. They've always done very strong fairway woods, particularly shallow heads on the Callaways here. And really, all the talk this year from Callaway has been about that weight, or this weight here, which is tungsten, 35 grams. They've moved this deeper and closer towards the face, and the reason for that is to try and give you more ball speed, more flight, more playability from the bottom of the face here that you can see. That's particularly important with fairway woods because typically, unlike here obviously in the bay today, more often than not you're going to be hitting from less than perfect lies. You know, off the deck, you want to try and get the ball elevated, carry it over your obstacles, try and get as much flight as you possibly can. So flight, picking the ball off the deck or off the tee, is quite important here. So Callaway have really identified that getting that sole plate weight, and give you a good view there, you guys, getting that deeper and closer towards the head there provides more ball speed, provides more launch, more spin, makes it more forgiving as a fairway wood. In terms of the head shape here, nice sort of rounded head shape to it. It's not the biggest of the heads, not the smallest of the heads either, in terms of in the market right now. Nice shape to it though. This is the middle model. They do have, it's worth noting that all of these manufacturers that you've got here have numerous different models, lower spin, more compact, sort of tour-like heads. And they've also got draw biased heads or max heads, lighter heads as well. So this is all 4 models, the 4 max models that you would say that I've got here, the core models that we've got. So just to kind of keep it hitting them all against each other, but good looking head. I've hit this product before, feels great. It's got that sort of carbon fiber effect across the top here. And I say very sort of shallow head here. So typically as a fairway wood, performs really strongly. Next up, we've got the TaylorMade Qi35. Now, I've been a TaylorMade fairwood player in the past myself, and I've always enjoyed the shape of these particular woods. TaylorMade talk about the infinity crown here. They've got twist face as their technology on the face here as well. They always produce a really nice, pleasing to the eye head shape, acoustically as well. Always sound great, I've always found with the TaylorMades. They've got the speed slot, which is a technology they've had in for several editions now. And then also they have got a weight there which typically isn't adjustable, in terms of you won't get a weight pack with this particular fairway wood to adjust, but be something that you can dial in at the time of purchase potentially as well, or just if you just want to leave it as stock, that'll just have a stock weight in there as well. Interestingly, the weight there, a bit like the Callaway, they've gone for slightly further forwards and deeper. And I think that really is to try and maintain some ball speed, you know, lower on the face here. There's always a lot of talk in the market now about the shape of these soles, and all 4 of these fairways that I'm going to hit, they all sit and sole on the ground very nicely. It always fills you with confidence, gives you the impression that you're going to be able to launch these fairway woods up. But I've got a little bit of experience with TaylorMade fairway woods. Looking forward to hitting this one again. A little bit deeper, I would say, in terms of the crown shape here than the Callaway, certainly, that I introduced first off, but be interesting to see how this one stacks up against the Callaway. Right guys, third fairway wood in the competition is going to be the Ping Qi440. Ping have a great reputation for having very easy to hit drivers, fairway woods and hybrids. Well, across the bag really, they're just a very solid brand, but particularly in the fairway woods. Funny enough with the Ping, whereas the screw is a little bit further forwards with the Callaway model and the TaylorMade model that I just showed you, you can see here they've definitely positioned that a little bit further back on the head. And typically what I find with the Ping fairway woods is they're definitely, in terms of the way they pick the ball up off the turf and they provide launch and spin, they're very forgiving, they're very easy to hit. So your mid to high handicap guys typically find these much easier to hit than some of the other manufacturers, I would say, personally. Great looking head, got more of a matte sort of finish to it. They've got that carbon fly finish on the back of the head this year that they've gone for. So again, that saved a little bit of weight, that they've been able to use that weight and position it a little bit deeper on the head. But again, filled with tech, which I'll go into when I hit it. Great looking head, looking forward to testing this one again today. And to finish off all four, I've got another one of the big brands in golf, Titleist, the GT series. This is the GT2. They've got 3 fairway woods in their sort of lineup. They've got the GT1, which is certainly the highest launching, highest spinning of the 3 models. And then the 3 is the lower spinning, the more compact head, typically preferred by the lower handicap golfer or professional. The 2 is the core, I would say the core model that sits right in the middle. And again, you can see that weight, certainly further forward than where it was on the Ping model, quite similar to the Callaway, quite similar to the TaylorMade. So straight away, the Ping, slightly different positioning there in terms of where the base weight is. What's the reason behind that? Who's that going to suit better than somebody else? Is that going to be easier to launch, easier to spin? Is that going to be better for the slower swing speed golfer, the higher handicap golfer? Potentially. We're going to get into the numbers. We're going to show you exactly what's going on. Again, nice compact head here, beautiful. I've hit this before. I've usually gotten on with it. Looking forward to hitting it again for you. All right, guys, I'm just going to hit some shots here. Going to start with the Callaway, like I did in the introduction. Again, so I've just got the standard Elite model here, 15 degrees. Got it in just in the neutral sleeve setting here for you. Got one of their stock option shafts. This is the Denali 60 grams 6.0. So a bit lighter than what I would typically use, but I'll be able to give you my interpretation of who I think this shaft will potentially suit. So playing position, when you place it down, again, very confidence inspiring, quite shallow, hugs the ground, relatively round shape to it. Looks like it has quite a lot of loft on it for 15 degrees. Remember guys, what it says on the bottom always isn't exactly how it's gonna measure. And I would say this probably looks like it measures with more loft than what it's actually stated on it. So that will also help give me some more launch and some more spin. So I'll try and hit a few good ones for you. Probably the best of the 3. Right guys, so hit a few there with the Callaway Elite. Very easy to use. Contact's a little bit low off the face, but it had absolutely no problem with picking the ball up and still provided great ball speed there as well. So typically I'm looking for my carry yardage to be in and around sort of 240, 245, and it met that with all 3 shots. Good spin numbers in there as well, so it provided plenty of height for me. Certainly very easy to hit, felt great off the face, felt quick as well, inspired confidence down by the ball, very unoffensive in terms of the head shape. I have to say, really impressed with that so far. If you're looking for something particularly off the deck, that could be the one for you. All right, so on to the next one, which is the TaylorMade Qi35. As I mentioned previously, I've got a little bit of experience with TaylorMade fairway woods. Currently got some older models in the bag myself. This looks absolutely fantastic, I have to say. Although the head shape looks very familiar to what I've used in the past as well. The Callaway provided some great numbers there. Again, I've got another 65 gram stock option shaft in here, so it'll be interesting to see how they stack up against each other. So down in the playing position, it's definitely a little bit deeper than what the Callaway head was, I have to say. And because of that, what I would expect to see here is slightly lower launch, slightly lower spin. Because of that, because naturally the center of gravity is going to be in a slightly different position of this head. We can know that anyway because of where that screw is positioned. So straight away, everything's telling me here that potentially launch might be a little bit lower and spin might be a little bit lower than what I experienced with the Callaway. So try and put a couple of good swings on it for you. Okay guys, so just give that a hit for you. In terms of launch and spin, the TaylorMade here launched a little bit higher with a little less spin on it. So it went a little bit further for me, certainly than where the Callaway did, and I'll show you the numbers below there. Would say actually probably shaft was a little bit better suited to me as well. And also I'm very familiar with the TaylorMade head, but being that little bit deeper, it just gives me the launch and the spin conditions that are better suited to someone with my club head speed in and around sort of 100 mile an hour with fairway wood off the deck. Again, still gave me the confidence that I could hit it off the floor though as well. So definitely if you do have a slightly slower swing speed, definitely worth trying as well. But I do know in some of the other TaylorMade models that they've got, the Max and the Max Lite, certainly the head shapes are a little bit shallower, a little bit deeper, again, to inspire confidence to create an additional launch and spin. But yeah, I'm very familiar with that as a product. Strikes very well for me. Love the stock option shaft they've got in there in terms of the Fujikura Ventus as well. Really solid product again from TaylorMade. All right, so first two down, on to the next one, the third one. We've got the Ping G440 here. Again, Ping have a great reputation for creating very solid fairway woods, hybrids, drivers. The wood market just flat out for those guys have always been very strong in it. Generally quite shallow heads, very easy to hit, very easy to launch. What I would say about this 440 model, it's actually a little bit deeper than where the G430 was, the previous model. And I think the reason for that was they wanted to make the fairway wood also playable off the deck and off the tee. I think some of the feedback previously had been maybe the head was almost a little bit too shallow, and therefore people felt like they could maybe get underneath it when they had it teed up and, you know, sky it, which nobody wants with the fairway wood off the tee. So slightly deeper this time around, 8% I believe, and that just makes it a little bit more playable for off the tee. But I'm sure when I put it down in the playing position, it's still going to look absolutely fantastic. So again, of all the head sizes, not quite as big as the Titleist in terms of the footprint of it, not quite as compact as the Callaway. So it really sits in the middle alongside the TaylorMade in terms of the CC size, which I believe on this one is a 165, 164 CC. Very playable sort of shape. Again, I have played Ping fairway woods in the past, so fairly familiar with this head shape. Looks like it sits with a fraction more loft on it than the stated 15 degrees. I felt like the TaylorMade sat with what looks like 15 degrees on it. The Callaway and the Ping both look like they sit with a fraction more loft on it for me, which again, just gives you a bit more confidence, inspires you a little bit. I think it tells you that it's gonna be easy to hit off the deck. So again, I've got a stock option Denali in here to hit. Let's see how it goes. Pretty consistent. So some interesting findings there. So I think I mentioned at the start about how easy the Ping fairway woods are to use and hit, and certainly this doesn't break from that tradition. In terms of down by the ball, very confidence inspiring, and it definitely gives you the impression that you can launch it from any sort of lie, which is for most amateur golfers exactly what you're looking for. I definitely hit that a little bit more left than the previous models. It certainly felt like it wanted to go a little bit more left than the TaylorMade model for me as well. I know that Ping generally, in terms of their lie angles, sit a little bit more upright. And again, that's gonna help the golfer who typically slices the ball out to the right-hand side. So that's definitely not a bad thing. But for me, it just felt like it wanted to overdraw a little bit. And for somebody who plays a draw and hates seeing the ball go left, I have to get into the adapter settings and the shaft settings and probably change that up. Overall though, felt absolutely fantastic, looks great. Love what they've done with this model this year. You can definitely see it's a little bit deeper, and that's going to help you kind of control that launch and that spin. And as you can see from the numbers below, they were pretty consistent, as were my carry numbers. Not quite as long as the TaylorMade for me personally, but certainly very easy to pick the ball up and launch it. So for the guys who are looking for something very playable, mid to high handicap golfers, I mean, don't get me wrong, some of the tour guys play this as well, optimized obviously. But if you're looking for something in that sort of mid to high handicap range, definitely got to consider that G440. And finishing off the battle today of the fairway woods, we've got the Titleist GT2. So again, Titleist rich heritage in woods and fairway woods particularly. I know they were going after this part of the market, particularly with this new GT range. The previous TSI, TSR drivers have done absolutely fantastic on tour, but they wanted to try and get more fairway woods in the bags of those tour players, and they probably want to get it in the bags of more amateur golfers as well. So what have they changed? Well, they've brought in a new material in the crown, as we know, that PMP, which is basically weight that they've been able to save from the crown and position that elsewhere in the head. They've got adjustable weighting at the bottom there, so you can go heavier, lighter, and also they've got that short fit sleeve, so they can really dial in the loft and the lie angle and the face angle as well. In terms of the shaping, look, it looks like a Titleist of the past, definitely not too different to some of the Titleist woods that I've played myself over previous generations. It's actually slightly a bigger footprint than the other 3 fairway woods that I've used today. Interesting enough, it's a bigger CC size, so there's worth that. If, you know, depending on what head shape you find pleasing and you want to see. Some guys prefer a slightly more compact head. Some guys prefer a bigger profile because it gives me the impression that they can strike it easier. Definitely with this one, I would say bigger CC, bigger profile, definitely deeper, closer to the TaylorMade, bit more suited to me as a golfer, as a sort of single digit guy. But we'll hit it. I'll let you know what it looks like in the playing position. All right, guys, so putting it down again, they sit absolutely beautifully. I definitely noticed in terms of this year's model, in terms of the sole plate on here, it wants to just find neutral very comfortably in there. It doesn't look toed in, or this is in the A1 position, so this is very much square playing position, but you can see there it just wants to sole and sit very square for me. So I really feel like I'm getting a true reflection of the loft and the face angle. Beautiful looking head. It's got that sort of more gloss look to it. So slightly different to the Callaway and the TaylorMade and the ping heads, which have more of that sort of, I would say, sort of matte finish to them, which personally I prefer. But you guys, if you like that sort of more gloss finish, then this might be the one for you. Let's give it a hit, see how it performs. Again, I've got a Denali in here, which is an option that Titleist provide. Alright, so just hit a few there with the Titleist GT, lovely feeling head, looked fantastic down by the golf ball again, confidence inspiring, the sort of model that I've used personally in the past, slightly deeper head shape, there's no two ways about that when you position it down by the golf ball, but that personally suits me and my ball flight and what I'm looking for from a fairway wood. But for you guys, if you're somebody who struggles to launch the ball off the deck, you might prefer the slightly shallower profile of some of the other heads. But gonna wrap it all up for you now. Stay tuned. Right guys, so I've hit all 4 of them there, and I have to say 4 quality products aimed at slightly different golfers, in my opinion, from a fitting perspective and also just from the data that I experienced there today, using some of the stock option shafts from the manufacturers as well. Certainly for me, the slightly deeper head of the TaylorMade and the Titleist provided the best numbers for me, and in my opinion, just looked the best and felt the best to me. If you're somebody who struggles with ballooning the golf ball and too much spin on your fairway woods, there's certainly 2 models that you might want to go down and do your testing with. On the flip side of that, if you're somebody who really struggles to launch the ball, get it up off the deck, you're looking for something which is a little bit more confidence inspiring, then the Ping and the Callaway might be the 2 heads for you. I would say great versions again from all 4 of the manufacturers here. There's obviously some other manufacturers, some other free woods out there I'm gonna do some testing on as well. 4 great efforts here. Get down there, hit them, let me know what you think. So if you enjoyed the video today, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow on all the socials. If you've got any product that you'd like to see me hit and test out, please let me know in the comments below. We'll try and get that out as soon as we possibly can.